Hello, Cool family, like and subscribe to the channel to know everything about Barcelona. In this video, we will talk about a huge masterstroke for Barcelona, but before that, we need to address other topics that are also very important for our beloved club. Let's start with the first piece of news, a bombshell that shakes the foundations of Camp Nou. Barcelona is launching with unwavering determination for André Santos, the true Brazilian sensation who has dazzled all of Europe with a spectacular season in France. Yes, you read that right. Our beloved FC Barcelona has positioned itself as the main, absolute, and most fervent party interested in obtaining the services of this young gem who, at just 20 years old, has seen his value soar to 60 million euros. A pearl that Hansi Flick, our flamboyant coach, has blessed without hesitation to wear the sacred Blaugrana jersey. The situation at the heart of our midfield is well known to all, and it is precisely no secret to anyone that the increasingly latent possibility that a fundamental pillar of our engine room, like our esteemed Dutch midfielder, could take a new path at the end of the current season, has set off all the alarms in the club's offices. Faced with this scenario, the sports management, with the unconditional and absolute support of Hansi Flick, has acted with celerity and foresight. They have placed André Santos at the top of their list of priorities, not as one more option, but as the number one objective. And it is that the innate talent of the Brazilian has everything, absolutely everything, to triumph with honor in the mythical Camp Nou. His explosion in Ligue 1, defending the colors of Strasbourg, has not gone unnoticed by absolutely anyone in the European football panorama, and even less so for our meticulous recruiters, who, it must be said, have been following him closely for a good time, analyzing each of his movements, each pass, each recovery, each arrival in the area. André is much more than a simple midfielder. He is a total midfielder, a true lung for the team. He possesses an overflowing physical power, an arrival in the opposing area that surprises and unbalances, an innate ability to generate offensive play from the middle, with a privileged vision and tactical intelligence that astonishes, improper for a player of his young age. Imagine him for a moment, already proudly wearing the Blaugrana jersey, recovering balls with controlled aggression, distributing the game with a mastery that few possess, and arriving from the second line with an iron determination to pierce the opposing nets with decisive goals. His adaptation to demanding French football has been instantaneous, almost telepathic, which gives us immense confidence that his integration into our league, the Liga EA Sports, and our unmistakable style of play, the famous Barcelona DNA, would be ultra-fast, almost imperceptible. He is undoubtedly the profile of player we so desire and desperately need right now to consolidate our sports project. While other European football colossuses like the all-powerful PSG, the always combative Atletico de Madrid, and the ambitious Newcastle lick their lips at the possibility of incorporating this phenomenon into their ranks, Barcelona has moved its pieces with a decision and a contundence that we have not seen for a long time. Our leaders know perfectly well that an opportunity to incorporate a player with such projection, such potential, and such a ceiling does not come along every day. And it's that Chelsea, the club that currently owns his rights, seems willing to listen to offers in this upcoming summer market, tempted by the productive loan of the player in France. It's time to act, Cules. It's now or never to secure the future of our midfield. The green light, the absolute and unwavering confirmation from Hansi Flick for this operation is an unequivocal and resounding signal of the transcendence and capital importance that is given to this possible transfer in the plans of the new coach. The German technician, already immersed in the exhaustive planning of the next season, is fully aware that having a player with the unique characteristics of André Santos would offer him a range of tactical possibilities that is simply enormous, almost unlimited. His versatility, one of his greatest virtues, would allow him to adapt without problem to different game schemes and various roles within the midfield, bringing that inexhaustible energy and physical deployment so valued by modern football. He would undoubtedly be a fundamental asset, a key and irreplaceable piece for the team, both in the vital tasks of recovery and contention and in the complex and crucial phase of building offensive play. Flick's vision is clearly clear and ambitious. We need players hungry for titles, with immense talent and, above all, with the ability to grow, evolve, and adapt to the demanding and frenetic pace of elite football. André Santos fully and exceptionally meets each of these requirements. Moreover, his youth, a determining factor in any large-scale sports project, is an additional point in his favor, an undeniable competitive advantage. He not only represents a long-term investment for the club, a bet for the future that will ensure the competitiveness of the squad for many years, but he would also bring an extra dose of dynamism, freshness, and vitality to the squad. Imagine for a moment the brutal and explosive synergy that could be created with our young talents already consolidated and with exceptional performance who are already part of the backbone of the team. It would be a midfield with a brilliant present and, even more importantly, with an absolutely promising future, a center of the field capable of dominating any match, imposing its law in any stadium, and marking an era in world football. An unequivocal and non-negotiable yes to André Santos. From my modest but passionate position as a Cule at heart, a supporter who lives and breathes for the Blaugrana colors, I can only say that the news that Barcelona is so seriously interested in André Santos fills me with overflowing enthusiasm and hope that I have not felt for a long time. It is in all lights a strategic and, above all, courageous move by the sports management and, of course, by Hansi Flick, who demonstrates that he has very clear ideas. We urgently need to rejuvenate some key positions in the squad and, at the same time, bet without reserve on emerging talent, on these promises called to mark an era in football. And André Santos fits perfectly like a glove in this philosophy, in this vision of the future that we so need. His current market value, although it may seem high at first glance for some, is in reality a faithful reflection of his immense potential and what he can become in the future, of the legend he is destined to write. I am absolutely convinced that his transfer would be a resounding success, an unequivocal achievement, an incorporation that would give us that extra quality, that crushing energy, and that ambition that we so need to return to compete for absolutely all titles, to return to lifting trophies and to return Barcelona to the place it deserves at the top of world football. His arrival would be a resounding statement of intent, a strong and clear message that Barcelona is ready to fight tooth and nail for the best talents in the world, for those players who make the difference. It would also be an injection of optimism and joy for the entire fanbase, for the millions of Cules who suffer and enjoy every match. It would, ultimately, be a gigantic and decisive step in the construction of a legendary team, a team that would return us to the glory and joy of yesteryear. And now, Cules, the most important part, the one that interests me the most and that I am passionate about, I would like to know your opinion. What do you think of this news, of this strong interest from Barcelona in André Santos? Do you think, like me, that this is the transfer we desperately need to strengthen our midfield? Do you see in him the future of our midfield, the player who will make us vibrate in the coming years, or perhaps you have another vision? We want to hear your voices, your arguments, your passions. Do not hesitate to leave your comments, to share your vision of this possible and, I hope, imminent incorporation. Your opinion is fundamental for the debate, for the construction of this common project. The second piece of news concerns a very important decision in our beloved club. Attention, Cules, prepare yourselves, because the news I bring you today is one of those that hurts, but is sometimes necessary for the good of our beloved club. A formal offer has arrived from London, specifically from Arsenal, of 60 million euros for the services of our talented Dutch midfielder. And what is more important, the information we have from inside the club is that the player has no intention of staying at Camp Nou. Our coach, Hansi Flick, has already given his green light for the departure, understanding the situation and prioritizing the stability and future of the team. We know that this is a hard blow for many of you, and believe me, for me too. Seeing a player with the quality and charisma of our Dutch midfielder leave always generates deep sadness. During his time here, he has given us moments of magic, impossible passes, and a vision of the game that few possess. However, in football as in life, sometimes difficult and pragmatic decisions have to be made, especially when the interest of the club is at stake. The reality is that if a player does not feel fully identified with the project or the city, their performance can be affected. Football is passion, commitment, 100% dedication, and if that flame does not burn with the same intensity, it is better to seek a solution that benefits all parties. The player's attitude, while respectable, seems to indicate that his time with us has come to an end. And in a club like ours, with the demand and greatness that characterizes us, we need players who want to be here above all else, who feel the badge as a second skin and who give until the last drop of sweat for these colors. The player's honesty in expressing his desires, although it weighs on us, is a starting point that we must take into account for the future. But beyond the sentimental, this operation has an economic component that we cannot and must not ignore. The salary of our Dutch midfielder is around 20 million euros per year, a stratospheric figure that, let's be honest, weighs like a stone on the already fragile finances of our club. The departure of this player would free up a huge wage bill, a vital respite that would allow us to adjust our accounts and, above all, gain flexibility in the transfer market. Joan Laporta and the management, with an eye on the immediate future, are already sounding out the market for options that strengthen the squad. With the 60 million euros from his transfer and the savings from his high salary, the club would have considerable room for maneuver to invest in new talents, in those players who really want to come to Camp Nou, who dream of wearing this jersey and who are ready to give body and soul for the team. This income would not only allow us to clean up the finances, but also give us the ability to compete on equal terms for top-level footballers who fit perfectly into Flick's playing philosophy and the Barcelona DNA. The opportunity to restructure the squad, bring in fresh blood hungry for glory, and build a more balanced, more competitive, and, above all, more committed team to the badge. Hansi Flick's decision to give the green light to the Dutch midfielder's departure is not a mere formality, it is a statement of intent. The German coach, who arrived with a clear vision and a winning mentality, understands that the cohesion of the group and the collective ambition take precedence over any individuality. If a player is not 100% committed to the project, no matter how talented they are, their permanence can generate imbalances and, in the worst case, affect the dynamics of the dressing room. Flick is building a team with hunger, tactical discipline, and a mentality of mutual sacrifice. In this scheme, the conviction of each player is fundamental. Furthermore, the money generated by this sale will allow Flick and the sports management to move with more freedom in the market. It is no secret that we need reinforcements in several key positions, and this economic injection would greatly facilitate the task. The coach knows that with these resources, he can target player profiles that fit perfectly into his football ideology, footballers with the versatility, intensity, and mentality he is looking for to build a winning team, a team that fights for all titles with guarantees. It is a purely strategic decision, thought out for the common good and the ability to build a stronger and more united team. As a Kuhl at heart, I must admit that the idea of our Dutch midfielder leaving generates a mix of feelings in me. On the one hand, the sadness of losing a player of his talent is undeniable. His drives, his ability to break lines, and his elegance with the ball are a delight for the eyes. But on the other hand, rationality forces me to accept that this is the best decision for our club at the moment. If the player does not wish to continue, it is fundamental that the club acts with celerity and efficiency. The €60 million that Arsenal is offering is a considerable sum, especially at a time when finances are not at their best. This money, added to the savings from his very high salary, would allow us to breathe economically and, above all, give us the maneuvering capacity to go out into the market with guarantees. We can bring in players who, perhaps, do not have the same shining name for the moment, but who have the hunger, commitment, and enthusiasm to triumph at Camp Nou, players who give themselves for the badge, who adapt perfectly to Flick's philosophy and who bring that energy and freshness that we so need. Sometimes, to move forward 2 steps, you have to take 1 step back. This move, although painful, can be the boost the club needs to restructure, clean up its accounts, and build a team that brings us joy and titles. I fully trust Laporta's management and Flick's vision. Both know that Barcelona is above any player. It is an opportunity to demonstrate that even in difficult times, the greatness of our club prevails. And now, with all this information on the table, I want to hear your voice, the voice of the supporters. What do you think about this possible departure of our Dutch midfielder for €60 million? Do you think it is the best decision for the future of the club, considering his desire not to continue and the economic situation, or do you think we should try to retain him at all costs? What would you do with the money from his transfer? This is the time to debate, share your opinions, and feel the passion that unites us. The third piece of news concerns a huge bombshell in the club. Kuhl's, the news that many have been waiting for is about to become official and fills us with immense enthusiasm. The imminent arrival of Hincapié at our beloved Barcelona is a reality that is being prepared and promises to revolutionize our defense. The young and promising Ecuadorian central defender is 1 step away from signing for no less than 6 seasons with the Blaugrana entity. 6 years of commitment, talent, and a secured future for our defense. From his native Ecuador, the news is already considered a done deal and not without reason. There, in the land of the young defender, they are celebrating with euphoria what they consider a giant step, an unprecedented qualitative leap in the career of Hincapié. And not without reason. Moving from Bayern Leverkusen, a great club, to a global giant like Barcelona is a dream for any footballer, and even more so for a central defender with his projection. His arrival at Camp Nou will not only be a reason for joy for the club, but also a source of pride for an entire country that sees in him one of its greatest football representatives. In Germany, the media are already echoing the imminent departure of Hincapié. The rumors have turned into certainty, and in Leverkusen, they are already actively searching for a replacement. It is an unequivocal signal that the operation is very advanced and that it is only a matter of time before it is official. The German machine, always efficient, will not waste time in lamentations but will focus on finding the best alternative, which confirms the seriousness of our proposal. The situation in our defensive line has generated some doubts in recent seasons, and it is a reality that we cannot ignore. The intermittencies of one of our current central defenders and the almost certain departure of another important defender, who has expressed his desire to undertake a new challenge, have placed Barcelona in a position of urgency. The need to strengthen the heart of the defense was palpable, and the management, with the sagacity that characterizes it, has acted with celerity and efficiency. Hans-Dieter Flick, our flamboyant coach, has given his unreserved green light to the operation. His vision of a solid team from the base, with fast central defenders, good ball play, and great anticipation, fits perfectly with the characteristics of Piero Hincapié. Flick knows that defensive solidity is the first pillar to build a winning team, a team that aspires to all titles, and in Hincapié, he has found a player who combines youth, talent, and experience. Despite his young age, the agreement with Bayern Leverkusen will be concluded for an amount close to €35 million. A significant investment, yes, but absolutely necessary and, in my opinion, very justified. We are not talking about a whim, but an imperative necessity to strengthen our defense. In the current market, finding a central defender of the quality, projection, and experience of Hincapié for this price is sincerely a bargain. It is a future investment that ensures stability in defense for many years. Why is Piero Hincapié the ideal central defender for Barcelona? The reasons are multiple and all indicate that his arrival will be a resounding success. First, his age. At just 22 years old, he has a huge margin for progression. He has demonstrated maturity and leadership in German football, a demanding and physical league, and also in the Ecuadorian national team, where he is a fundamental pillar. Tactically, he is a left-footed central defender, a highly valued quality in modern football, as it allows for a cleaner and more fluid ball play from the left. His anticipation, speed in cutting, and ability to win individual duels are remarkable. He is an aggressive defender, in the good sense of the term, who does not shy away from opposing attackers and knows how to read the game well to intercept passes and cut actions. In addition, he has excellent foot technique, something fundamental for the playing style of our Barcelona, where central defenders are the first builders of the action. His ability to break lines with vertical passes or to drive the ball to the midfield are qualities that delight any cule. His versatility is also a point in his favor. Although his natural position is that of a left central defender, he has shown that he can play as a left-back at times, which gives Flick one more option in defense. He is a very complete player, with a great physique, but also with tactical intelligence that allows him to always be well-positioned. His arrival will not only give us defensive security but also greater versatility in ball play and in the construction phase. He is the type of player who fits perfectly into the Barcelona DNA, a defender with the soul of a midfielder, capable of playing with the ball at his feet and initiating attacking actions. As a passionate cule, I can only show my absolute enthusiasm for the imminent arrival of Piero Hincapié. This is the transfer we needed, the central defender who will give us that solidity, youth, and projection that we so desire in defense. The investment of €35 million, far from seeming excessive to me, I consider it a smart and long-term bet. In the current market, finding a central defender with his qualities, age, and experience at this price is a true blessing. His youth combined with his maturity on the field makes him a rough diamond ready to be polished, but who already shines with his own light. The confidence that Hans-Dieter Flick has in him is a huge guarantee, and the need to strengthen our defense, added to the departures of some of our defenders, makes this operation not only welcome but vital. Hincapié has the perfect profile to triumph at Camp Nou. He is fast, strong, has good ball play, and an overwhelming personality. He is a central defender for the future, but with a solid present, who arrives to consolidate our defense for many years. This is the type of transfer that generates enthusiasm, that makes us believe in a promising future, and that shows that the management is working in the right direction. This transfer is a statement of intent, a clear message that we are building a team to return to dominating Europe. And now, as always, I want to hear the voice of our dear fanbase. What do you think about the imminent arrival of Piero Hincapié? Are you as enthusiastic as I am about this transfer? Do you think he is the central defender we need to consolidate our defense? What do you expect from him during these 6 seasons? Leave me your comments and share your passion for Barcelona. This is the time to feel the Cule Union.